Hello everyone, my name is Cameron. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to part 2 of my first 50 platinums. The Platinum Journey, first 50, part 2. Hope you guys enjoyed the last video where I discussed the first 7 non-platinum 100% I got on my PlayStation, the singular one I got on my Xbox so far, and the first 25 platinums I ever achieved on my PS4 slash PS3 slash PS5. I'm sure I'll be going through a lot more games in the next coming years. But let's move on to number 26 through number 50. Number 26, Assassin's Creed Unity. I finished this May 2nd, 2022. It took me 8 months, 1 day. Again, part of the finish every Assassin's Creed game as quick as I can. Unfortunately, I did take a small break on this, and this is why it pushed me back so much on the Assassin's Creed completion percentage that I was going for before the end of this year. But I enjoyed the hell out of this game. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I heard a lot of bad reviews about it when it first came out, so I wasn't really looking forward to playing through this, and eventually I really enjoyed playing it, and I had a blast going through it. The online trophies did take a bit, but the game itself was very fun. I'm a huge history nerd, so playing through, you know, Revolution-era France was really fun, and yeah, again, like I said, I'm very excited to play through the next Assassin's Creed game. Number 27, Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, completed June 17th, 2022. Took me 3 days and 8 hours. This was a free game on PS Plus, and I downloaded it and basically played nothing but that for a couple days and worked my ass off to get it done in the time I got it done. Boosted it with my buddy a couple times for some of the shit that we could boost, and then basically just did everything else by myself. And got it done within a remarkably quick amount of time. Next, the third game that is not at 100%, Days Gone, completed June 15th, 2022. Oh, June 12th for Nickelodeon. I think I said June. Did I say June 17th or did I say June 12th for Nickelodeon? Yeah, whatever. It took me 3 years, 1 month to complete Days Gone. Very fun game. I loved playing through it. I'm really hoping they decide to do Days Gone 2. Had a blast. I wanted it at 100%, but some of the challenges are going to be the hard part. Like, beating the game on the hardest difficulty on New Game Plus is nothing. Like, that's going to be easy for me. But doing the challenges and getting all the trophies for the challenge DLC is where I'm probably going to struggle the most. But I have no issue going back and doing it, so... Number 29, Until Dawn, Rush of Blood. This was done June 22nd, 2022. It took me 6 days and 7 hours. Here we are, the very first VR Platinum. This was right after I got my VR headset, and it was like the first game I bought because I was like, this is one of the reasons I bought VR in the first place. So I picked it up, downloaded it, and just started playing it like crazy, and finished it in a remarkably quick amount of time. I did stream this a little bit, as I was going for the final trophy of getting the rest of the collectibles. Very fun game. I highly recommend it. If you have VR or you're thinking about getting VR and don't know what games to start with, I highly suggest this game. It's very easy, especially if you're a trophy hunter, and it's very, very enjoyable. Actually, I almost have every game in this franchise done now. We'll get to that later. But yeah, I could not recommend Until Dawn Rush of Blood enough. It's on-rails point-and-click shooter, and it's very fun. Next, number 30, we have Infamous First Light. This was done the same day, June 22nd, 2022. It took me 7 years and 4 months. This was one of the very first games I ever got on my PlayStation. It was like right after I got PS Plus. This was one of the free games. So I picked it up, started playing through it, had a blast, did as many of the trophies as I could back in the day, like played through a lot of it. Didn't really focus on trophies, just kind of went for it. When I started trophy hunting again, like more seriously, I came back to try to do this game, but was having a lot of issues trying to get some of the stuff done. So I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to take a break for a bit and then go back to it at a later date. Eventually, I did go back to it and finished it with no issue. And I love the fact that I've got it done. It was a rough go of it. It took a lot of time to get some of those trophies and a lot of grinding, but I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend this game. Number 31, Need for Speed Payback, platinumed on July 3rd, 2022. Took me 3 years and 4 months. A racing game that I've loved the Need for Speed series for a very long time. We'll come back to the Need for Speed series a little bit later on. This game and the newer Need for Speed games aren't really my cup of tea. They're not as good as they used to be, like Most Wanted and Underground 2 way back in the day on like PS2 and shit. That was my shit. That was my bread and butter. Those games are fantastic, and I really do miss Need for Speed having that same feeling. The newer games just don't hit as well. They're not as fun. They're not as enjoyable. They have their difficulties a lot different. It's a lot more skewed than it used to be, and it's not stopping me from playing through more of them. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm still playing through them, but I'm not enjoying it nearly as much as I wanted to. But yeah, Payback was okay. I bought it on sale a long time ago, and then just decided to go back for it because I was going through games. And one of the things, I do want to also do a video talking about games I can't platinum or I've given up on at some point. And this was one of those ones where I was like, there's online trophies. I don't want to lose the server ability and miss getting this potentially finished. Next, we have Burnout Paradise Remastered, which was done July 4th of this year, 3 years and 4 months. Quite literally done a day after Need for Speed Payback, and basically I was doing the two of them at the same time. I bought them both at the same time during the same sale, and so getting them back to back was kind of a very fitting end to those two games, not being at 100% or platinumed on my list. And I had a blast. I was very happy to get them both done, and yeah, it was very enjoyable. Burnout Paradise Remastered was definitely a lot more fun for me than Need for Speed Payback, even if I had to do a lot of boosting and trying to find people to do certain online trophies, because there are a lot in this game. So I'll say this: if you're thinking about doing Burnout Paradise Remastered, do it, but realize you're gonna need like 8-ish people a lot of the time, or more sometimes, to actually get a lot of these trophies, because it does take a bit. Next, number 33, we have Lego Marvel Superheroes. This was done July 9th, 2022, 3 weeks, 6 days. I bought all of the Marvel games. There was kind of a pack that gave you this, Avengers and Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. So I bought all of those at the same time in that pack. I think I had to purchase the DLC separately. I can't remember for sure. But basically they were all on sale, so I just kind of bought them around the same time. And very much so enjoyed this game. Not as much as I enjoyed DC Supervillains. This game had very wonky controls for vehicles. And it's kind of one of those things I'm going to have to realize that when I go to do other Lego games that are older, it's probably going to be the same sort of shitty controls for vehicles and sometimes odd controls for movement. But all in all, the game was really fun. I really enjoy Lego games. I always have, so this one was really fun to play through. Next, we have Telltale's Guardians of the Galaxy. This was done July 14th, 2022. It took me 9 months and 1 week. I bought this game, booted it up, played through the first episode, was kind of lazy and didn't want to download the rest of them at the time. Took a break. Finally decided to finish it. That's why it took me so long. This, as of right now, does have this was my longest time for a Lego game, or for a Telltale game. But very fun. I really suggest this one. I had a lot of fun playing through it. And honestly, I can't wait to play through more Telltale games as I decide to download more. I do have the Walking Dead Definitive Edition and the entirety of Minecraft Story Mode. So I'm very excited to be doing those ones at some point, and I had a blast with this one. Next, number 35, we have Sherlock Holmes: The Devil's Daughter. This was completed July 18th, 2022. This took me 3 years and 2 months. I think that's months. I had to write it really small. A game that I just kind of stopped playing for a long time, and I don't really remember why. Very fun game. I love the Sherlock Holmes franchise. It's why I have one of the movies on DVD and want to get the other one on DVD. Very fun though. I had a blast. The story is really good. I don't want to spoil it, so if you've never played it, I highly recommend going and playing this one if you're a Sherlock Holmes fan. There's a lot of Sherlock Holmes games out there, and I do want to try to get as many of them as I can and platinum or 100% them. If possible. Next, number 36, we have Far Cry 4. This was completed July 20th, 2022. It took me 2 months and 2 weeks, and like I said, I don't like this game. I talked about it briefly before, but Far Cry 3 is, as of right now, my favorite Far Cry game. I've only played through the 2. I have more on the backlog and ready to go. I'll discuss those later. But I didn't really enjoy Far Cry 4 nearly as much. The characters, besides Pagan Min, kind of fell flat. The gameplay was okay. It's a Far Cry game. It's going to be kind of similar no matter what you play. And, but yeah, there's just a lot about the game that I just didn't really enjoy. And eventually, when I did finish it, I was very thankful that I did. Doing the online was a bore. I didn't really enjoy it very much. But eventually, I did get it finished. So, I guess that's something. There's a lot of trophies in that game that aren't very fun, though. Would I recommend it? Maybe, but like you have to be ready to go through a lot of suffering for very stupid trophies that are kind of shit to do. Next, we have Realm Royale. I completed this July 21st, 2022, 3 years and 5 months. This one was very fun to do. It's another Battle Royale game. It's a very interesting Battle Royale game. If you've never played it, I highly recommend it. It's free, so you have no reason not to. I played through this with Connor. He got me back into it, the bastard. It was okay. I mean, it's not a game that gets a lot of support anymore, so it kind of ran like shit, and there's a lot of really stupid trophies, which we'll come back to, because this company is on my list a couple more times. Unfortunately. Will be on my list a couple more times in the future as well. Unfortunately. But yeah, Hi-Rez is a decent studio, but they do have a lot of issues with what they do. Next, number 38, we have Infamous Second Son. This was completed July 31st, 2022. It took me 4 years and 10 months. Again, like with Infamous First Light, I stopped playing it for a long time. I don't fully remember why on this one. I wasn't very far through the story. Wait, no, yeah, I was. I was pretty far through the story. But I don't know. I just kind of stopped playing for a bit, and then decided when I was going through all my stuff, my buddy Connor, who I boost with a lot, was like, dude, you should definitely do the Infamous Second Son. I just finished Infamous First Light, a couple months beforehand, and then I downloaded this, I think right around the same time as I finished Infamous First Light, because this one was only like a month after that was done. And went through it, played it on the hardest difficulty, got that done, did all my different the different endings and shit, and did everything. And yeah, had a really fun time. I highly recommend this game. Number 39, we have the next high-res game on my list, Rogue Company. Finished August 7th of this year. It took me 3 weeks and 5 days. This was another game that Connor recommended I get, and it's a shooting game, like it's an FPS, so I was like, yeah, sure. Hi-Rez has some decent games, but a lot of their trophies are kind of fucking asinine and aren't very enjoyable most of the time, so this one was definitely a bit of a bitch to do, but eventually I did get it, and yeah, it was a pretty fun time. I could recommend this one if you like FPS games, but just know that it's going to be kind of a pain in the ass. Next, number 40, we have Assassin's Creed Origins, completed August 12th, 2022. This took me 4 years and 1 month. This was a Christmas gift from my brother when it came out, and I played through a lot of it on the channel. I think like 80 or something episodes before I gave up and was like, dude, I can't fucking play this game anymore. I don't enjoy it. I wasn't enjoying making content on it. I wasn't enjoying playing it. Nothing. I just said, fuck this. I'm done. I don't want to play the game anymore. And I really wish I wouldn't have, because I was really close to the ending. I could have maybe squeezed out like 4 or 5 more episodes, finished the story, and then just been done with this game, and still came back and got it later in the future. Because obviously I didn't have the DLC at the time, so it wasn't like I was going to do the DLC trophies. But yeah, I'm very happy I got this one done. Again, part of the clearing the Assassin's Creed games off my list. I decided not to restart the story, which I'm very thankful I did, because I was only like I said, like a few missions from finishing it. Eventually I did finish it. I got the season pass, did all the DLC, and completed the rest of the last few trophies for the game, which was like literally just collecting shit. But did eventually finish it. Not a bad game. It was better than I remember, but I do still think Bayek is kind of a shit character. Like, I think they could have done better with him as a character, but what are you going to do? Next, we have Dead Island Definitive Edition. This one was done August 25th, 2022. It took me 3 years and 5 months. This was one that I just stopped playing for a long time. I played through a lot of this on my 360 back in the day because it was a free game with Xbox Live Gold. Eventually picked up the Definitive Collection on my PS4 and started playing through it. And was sitting there, I was like, kind of just gave up on it, kind of was bored of playing it for a bit, and then was like, alright, I gotta go back and get this done. And then did, and it was okay. It's not It's not fantastic. A lot of the trophies are a pain in the ass, and you need a lot of people to boost it with. But eventually, I did get it done with a boosting group, and I'm very thankful to be done with it, because this game, I don't know, the Dead Island franchise is fun, but it kind of also sucks a little bit. So, next we have Spongebob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. This was finished August 28th, 2022. It took me 4 months and 3 weeks. This was free earlier this year in like March or April-ish, I think. Oh yeah, April. Because I was talking to somebody at that same time that I'm not going to discuss in this video and ever again probably on the channel. But yeah, I played through this game a little bit here and there, and then got kind of far into it, but was just kind of like burnt out on it. It wasn't a very enjoyable game, and I was kind of stuck at a part, and was like, all right, I need a break. I'm just going to take a break from this game for a bit. Eventually, finally, got talked into it by my friend. Said, just go back and finish it. It's almost done. Go do it. It's not that hard. So I did it. I went back, got all the collectibles, finished the game. And yeah, it was a very fun game. If you have this in your library from when it was free, I highly recommend this. It's not a difficult platinum. Very fun game. If you're a SpongeBob fan especially, it's very enjoyable to play. Next, we have Dead Island Riptide Definitive Edition. This was finished September 3rd, 2022. It took me 6 months and 2 weeks. I started playing through this while I was finishing up stuff for Dead Island. I had already finished the first Dead Island story, so when I decided to start this one, it kind of made sense when I started it, because I already knew what the Dead Island story was. It wasn't like I was coming into this game with completely blind. I started at about 40 something, 42 or 43, because you can carry your character over. Carried my character from Dead Island 1 over, went back and started getting that character to level 50, and played through this one off and on for a bit. This one's online trophies aren't nearly as hard. The hardest one is completing the entire game with a co-op partner. But it's only like 25 quests, and a lot of them are really quick, so this game is really not that bad to complete with somebody online if you have to. I didn't have a lot of trouble with this one. It was a lot easier for me than the first game. Story-wise, it fell flat, but hey, it was kind of a rush sequel anyway. And it was right after I finished this that they announced Dead Island 2, so yeah, I kind of finished this at the perfect time. Next, number 44, we have the 2016 remake of Ratchet, like reboot of Ratchet and Clank. I got this done on September 7th of this year. It took me 4 years and 5 months. Another game that I started playing and then just stopped playing for a very long time for whatever reason. But yeah, very fun game. Oh, geez. Excuse me. I had a very fun time playing it. Ratchet and Clank is a very fun franchise, and I really wish I would have gotten this a lot sooner. But it was very fun. I highly recommend this game. I really want to get a PS5 so I can play the sequel, Rift Apart, because it does look very fun. And I had a blast playing through this one. There were a couple trophies that gave me a bit of a problem, but eventually I was able to get through all of them, and yeah, it wasn't too difficult once I kind of started working towards it a little bit more. Next, the final game that I do not have at 100% as of right now, Call of Duty World War II. I completed this one September 9th, 2022. It took me 4 years and 9 months. This is another game that I got as a gift. I think the same year I got Assassin's Creed Origins, actually. Not gonna lie. I got this as a gift from my brother as well. That same Christmas, I'm pretty sure. Played through it a lot back in the day. Played a lot of multiplayer. Never really focused on the trophies. And then eventually was starting up Black Ops 3 stuff and talked with a couple buddies and was like, do you guys think World War II is worth it? Like, my friend was playing World War II on multiplayer, so I was like, yeah, I got it, I can download it, man. Actually, still never played multiplayer with him, just did the trophies for zombies and shit, and for the campaign that I still had to do. I did play through this on the channel in completion for the story, which was really fun, and eventually decided to go back. Had my buddies help me with the miscellaneous trophies for zombies, as well as the Easter egg, because they know them a lot better than I do. Went through and got all the story missions, and then did the prologue round 20 thing for zombies, which is one of the reasons I would say this is probably not a recommended one, but if you do like Call of Duty and you do enjoy zombies, I highly recommend this game. That trophy is a pain in the ass, but it's not impossible. It's a lot of it does end up being kind of luck-based, but it's very fun. Next, number 46, we have House Flipper. This was completed September 17th of this year. It took me 2 years and 5 months. Very relaxing, fun, sandbox-style game. I'm really looking forward to the sequel, even though I won't be able to play it until I get a PS5. But I highly recommend this game if you like games like The Sims or Minecraft or SimCity, shit like that. The game's really fun. You go in, find a beat-up house, fix it up, sell it, rinse and repeat. Very fun game to play through, and I had a blast with it. Next, number 47, we have Resident Evil 3. I completed this not too long ago, this month, the 2nd of this month, October. Took me 1 year and 5 months. I started this game a long time ago and then just never fucking touched it again because I was having difficulty with it. And it could have been done like a whole ass year ago with no issue. But I had a very fun time playing through it. This was kind of, I did a birthday stream of this game, just kind of randomly decided to do Resident Evil 3 as a birthday stream, and ended up streaming it a couple more times until I eventually finished it on stream. You guys watched me get this platinum. It was very fun for me. It was the start of the Spooktober streams, which we have to do another one of those this weekend probably. But I had a blast. Yeah. Really fun game. I highly recommend this one. It's not hard as far as Resident Evil and survival games go, so I definitely recommend it. Next, number 48, we have Until Dawn, which was done the next day on October 3rd, 2022. It took me 6 hours and 35 minutes. As of right now, my fastest platinum, and probably a record that may never be beat, because, yeah, I did this as part of the Spooktober stream as well. I did not plan on doing this in a single stream. I planned on doing this across 2 streams, but I was having issues, like I couldn't see anybody's chats, and I didn't really want to do another stream of it like that. I didn't enjoy the game very much. As far as platinum difficulty, I can recommend this game, but the characters are pretty vapid. They're very bland, and honestly, I can't really say, like, this is a game that you want to play through a bunch of times. Like, getting all the trophies would be my only reason to tell you to play this game, is go through it and get them. I have one game left in the Until Dawn franchise called The Impatient, which is a VR game that I'll be trying to get the platinum for very, very soon, to hopefully talk about it in the next 50 platinum recap video thing. Next, number 49, we have Rise of the Tomb Raider. This was done October 4th, 2022. It took me 2 years and 2 months. This is a game I started a very long time ago and then just kind of wasn't enjoying it very much, so I stopped playing. Wasn't very far in the game, like I was right at the start of the game, didn't really enjoy it and stopped playing it. Eventually Connor was like, dude, you should do Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's not, he already had the platinum, but he needed some co-op help for some of the trophies. So I was like, okay, I'll download it, we can play it, which I'm now going to be doing both the thing that started the reboot trilogy, Tomb Raider, and then also Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I already own Shadow. I bought Tomb Raider like earlier this month or late last month. This game's fun. Score attacks were probably the hardest part. I'd recommend this if you're pretty good at these types of games. I am not very good at them, but I had a fun time playing it because I got to play it with my buddy for the entire time, and we got to talk about it and talk shit about each other's skills in the game. In it. So, very fun. I had a blast through it, and I can't wait to play through more of the Tomb Raider games. Finally, we have reached the ultimate goal of this video / 2 videos. Number 50, the platinum I just got today, October 13th, 2022. It took me 3 weeks and 1 day, Need for Speed Heat. I have been grinding this trophy heavily for like the last week, trying to get this done, and eventually I got it. I'm very happy. This was free last month, and I was like, you know what? I said I was going to take a break from Need for Speed when I did Payback way back in July, and then this game was free 5 months later, or 2 months later, so my break didn't last nearly as long as I wanted it to, but I did eventually get it, and I worked really hard. I just got it a couple hours ago. Very fun. Again, it's got that same issue that Payback has, where it's kind of not a very fun Need for Speed game, but it's enjoyable enough, and the platinum isn't difficult. Not a whole lot of online trophies. Again, it was just free with PS Plus. If you have this game, I kind of recommend it. It's not that bad. Some of the trophies are a bit of a grind, but for the most part, you're not going to struggle too much through this. Alright, and that is the number 50 finally. We've made it through 50 different games of Platinums. Actually, a little bit more of that. 58, technically, if you look at it, to to the final one as well. Because obviously we also did the first part where we had 7 that I've done that aren't Platinums and the 1 Xbox One. So 58 games totally discussed. What am I working on currently? I know a lot of you are probably wondering what is potentially going to be showing up in the 51 to 100. So obviously, Injustice 2, which I'm currently working on getting the final trophy, which is very difficult and a lot of grinding for said trophy, will probably be within that range. When I'm not playing or doing anything else, I do typically have the AI battles running, so I can get through towers and stuff like that and get the playtime up with Catwoman and stuff like that. We're going to go through my list a little bit and talk about what might be showing up. I already talked about The Inpatient, which is another VR game in the Until Dawn universe. That's probably going to also be on there. Spider-Man Miles Morales will probably be joining that as well, as I'm working through that very fast while also playing through the series, or doing the series for the channel. 7 Days to Die, I'm 1 trophy off on. That probably won't take me too much longer. I'll probably be done with that in a couple days, actually. That one's probably not going to be too hard to add to the list. Paladins, another high-res game. I'm only 2 trophies away from that one. That will probably be also coming up in the next 50 list. Zombie, The Forest, and Tribes of Midgard are 3 games that will probably be jumping into that as well, as I'm not very far off of those. Batman Return to Arkham City will probably be on there because I'm not too far off on that one. Just a lot of grinding for that game and a lot of struggling and wanting to pull my hair out. Black Ops 3 would be really nice to have in there, but I can't guarantee that one. Let's keep scrolling through. See, Onrush, which is a racing game, I'm 1 trophy off on that. There's a good chance that will be talked about. MLB The Show 21 will also probably be in there if Jesse plays it anytime soon. But yeah, definitely a possibility of that one showing up in there as well. Assassin's Creed Syndicate is going to be the next Assassin's Creed game I'll be playing through, so that will probably be showing up there. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered could potentially show up in there. I really don't know. There's a lot of games on here that are going to be a long grind, but could potentially show up. Just Cause 3 is another game that could potentially be showing up. I only have 2 trophies, which are both linked to each other to do in that game. Fallout 4, I'm only a couple trophies off on that one from having the 100% in Platinum, so there's a chance that that one could be showing up in there, even though some of them are really tough. What else? I really don't know what else, man. There's a lot of games that I have to do, and there's a lot of games that are pretty damn close to being finished, so it's anyone's ball game, man. There's a lot of possibility for what could be showing up. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to be going and working on the next 50 now, though. So hope you guys have enjoyed this 2-part series for my first 50 Platinums. I will see you guys in the next video. Stay golden. Peace.